We know that protein is a very important macronutrient to be included in our diet. Yet, when we look at anybody's meal, it lacks enough protein. Why is that? We are not focusing on getting enough protein, and this can be very harmful. Do you want to know more? Hi, I'm Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni, co-founder of Arna Gen Next Solutions. Hi. So when we talk about protein and muscle, they go hand in hand. Muscle development needs proteins. So are you feeling lost in the jungle of protein sources and want to know how to incorporate protein in your diet? So these are some very simple tips that we need to remember. Let us break them down as usual into 5 simple points. We know that proteins are extremely important, yet we have many misconceptions about the food that we eat. We think we are getting enough protein, but if we actually sit and calculate how much protein we are getting per ingredient that we are using in every meal, are we able to absorb that protein efficiently? Is it enough for our body, for the kind of exercise that we are doing, for our health goals? Maybe not. We need to reconsider that. So the first important thing to know is that are we getting enough protein to support muscle building, muscle recovery, and all of the things that we want? Insulin sensitivity, to maintain the insulin sensitivity that we have, or to reduce our risks of diabetes. We need enough protein. So normally we need 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. But in order to build muscle, we need even more protein. So do consult your doctor or health professional to see how much protein you need and do you have it in your diet. Don't forget to calculate it because you might be missing out on major sources of proteins. So what is the second aspect that we need to consider? The second thing is that protein is required for many different functions in our body. It is important for our cells, for our hormones, for building muscles. So we need to look at many different sources of proteins in order to get different kinds of amino acids. So let us focus on some of these types of proteins that we can get. What are these? The third thing that we need to look at is animal-based proteins. So animal-based products or foods are a rich source of protein. When we are talking about chicken or any kind of meat or fish, they are very good sources of proteins. And they usually have a complete amino acid profile. So we can get a lot of protein out of these animal products. But one thing that we need to be cautious about is that if we are consuming meats, they also bring in a lot of unhealthy fats along with the protein. So in order to get healthy sources, it is important to choose lean meats. That is an important consideration here, isn't it? The fourth thing to know, if you are vegan especially, there are good enough sources of proteins like tofu, tempeh, like quinoa. There are grains that have wonderful sources of proteins. And including a diversity of these gives us the complete amino acid profile, because if we are missing out on amino acids, that might lead to a lot of different health problems. We need all of the 20 amino acids to make enough protein in our body. The fifth thing that we need to consider if we are vegetarians is the sources of proteins can be as diverse as Greek yogurts, plant-based sources of proteins like the ones I talked before, lentils, beans, nuts, seeds. There's also dairy products that we can include like cottage cheese. So if we include all of these different sources, again, we get the complete amino acid profile if we use different kinds of these sources. So these are some very important considerations we need to have. While we can get very confused about proteins and not incorporate enough of it, it is important to take a look at our meal and see if we are actually getting enough protein in our diet. it can solve a lot of health issues that we have. Do it right away. That is the challenge for you. Look at your meals, see if you have enough protein, if those protein sources are diverse enough, if they are healthy enough, and do hit the like button, share and subscribe to our channel.